On the news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari leaves for the Jordanian capital, Amman, to attend the World Economic Forum. More ministries and parastatals defend budget proposals before House committees. And Abuja High Court annuls the election of the senator-elect for Delta North Senatorial District as another court strikes out Senate President's case against the police. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jumwa Yusuf. Reading with me tonight is Dotun Ogunyemi in Lagos, and Sadia Umar Digil is standing by in Sokoto. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for Amman, Jordan, to participate in the World Economic Forum on the Middle East and North Africa, holding at the Dead Sea. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that the president, who was invited by the Jordanian King Abdullah bin Al Hussein, was seen off at the airport by his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, FCT Minister Mohammed Bello, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, and other senior government officials. President Buhari is scheduled to deliver an address at the opening of the Economic Forum alongside the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres before joining other world economic leaders at the plenary session. The Nigerian leader would also hold bilateral meetings with some world leaders on the sidelines of the forum. President Buhari will depart Amman on Sunday for Dubai, United Arab Emirates, to participate in the 9th edition of the annual investment meeting beginning on the 8th of this month. He is being accompanied on the visit by the Governor of Jigawa State, Mohammed Abubakar Badaru, and some members of the Federal Executive Council. The Oba of Benin, Oba Iwere II, has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo for their victory in the recently concluded presidential election. In a statement by the Secretary Benin Traditional Council, Frank Irabo, the Oba also extends his wishes to winners in the National, State Assembly and gubernatorial elections. The statement commiserates with families of those who lost their lives and properties in the electoral process and commends INEC for ensuring free and fair elections. In a related development, the Buhari Media Organization has described as totally untrue and unverifiable the global report on food crisis affecting some countries, including Nigeria. A statement by the chairman of the group, Ni Akinsuju, says the report released by United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization is untenable, bearing in mind that under the Buhari's administration, there has been an increase in agricultural activities leading to sufficiency in food production and availability. According to the group, there has been deliberate measures taken by the federal government to ensure adequate food for the victims of the Boko Haram insurgency, due to the intervention by different agencies cooperating with the federal government in ensuring adequate food for the people in the war-affected areas. The group maintains that it runs contrary to reason that an organization like the United Nations or any of its agencies would lump Nigeria with countries like Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, where there are full-blown wars. Now, the federal government is desirous of leveraging on the potency of information and communication technology in driving its economic recovery and growth plan. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Grace Isu Gekpe, stated this in a message at the opening of an ICT capacity building program in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
The capacity building program, which is in collaboration with the European Union's support for federal government reforms project, is designed for officers of federal agencies responsible for policy planning, revenue generation, performance monitoring, and development of statistics. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Deaconess Grace Isu Gekpe, who was represented by the Director of ICT in the ministry, Comfort Ajiboye, restated the need for the training, which is in line with the federal government's desire to grow the economy.
It is worthy of note that information and communication technology has systematically transformed the social awareness of Nigerians in line with global best practices. Nigeria, like most developing nations, have come to recognize the importance of information and communication technology as a catalyst for sustainable socio-economic development.
Team leader of the EU Sophago project, Professor Olaseni Bello, enumerated the importance of the training given the global acceptance of ICT in all endeavors.
Because basic ICT is essential for human organization development, for human capital development, for even improving process delivery, service delivery and management information system. And I'm sure that it will be very particularly useful for your ministry because we are in an information ICT age.
This program cannot move on without the engagement of the government and of the different ministries involved, and I have to say that you've been an example of collaborating partner.
The program is targeted at specific federal government ministries. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has kept his promise that governance would not take the back seat in spite of his busy campaign leading to the 2019 presidential elections. With major activities and achievements recorded during the campaign period, the presidency notes with delight the non-disruption of activities and projects.
In keeping with the promise by President Muhammadu Buhari that governors would not take the back seat in spite of his busy campaign schedules to all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory leading to the presidential election on February 23, 2019, below are hard facts of promise kept. On January 9, 2019, President Buhari inaugurated the Presidential Technical Advisory Committee on the implementation of the national minimum wage to advise the federal government on how best to fund in a sustained manner the additional cost of implementing the imminent increase in the national minimum wage. The committee, chaired by Mr. Bismarck Rewani, submitted its report on Monday, the 25th of March 2019. Also in January 2019, President Buhari submitted a national minimum wage amendment bill to the National Assembly for passage, following the approval of the National Council of State. The bill is now awaiting presidential assent. January 23, 2019, the Strategic Revenue Growth Initiatives of the federal government was launched by the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, in Abuja on three main planks, namely achieving sustainability in revenue generation, identifying new and enhancing the enforcement of existing revenue streams, achieving cohesion in the revenue ecosystem. The President signed Executive Order 007 of 2019 on the Road Infrastructure Development and Refurbishment Investment Tax Credit Scheme. Election season did not halt or negatively affect ongoing federal government construction projects across the country. Various projects are currently proceeding. We simply prioritized the completion of critical ongoing projects over the introduction of new ones. The National Bureau of Statistics released figures for the fourth quarter of 2018 economic growth, which is 2.3%, and for the full year of 2018, which is 1.93%, more than double the full year 2017 growth rate of 0.82%. This growth in the fourth quarter of 2018, as well as for the full year, owed a great deal to the performance of the non-oil sector.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Burute, has restated the commitment of the armed forces in ensuring security of citizens and protecting the nation's territorial integrity. He, however, suggested an alternative funding package separate from the envelope budgeting method now in use to improve access to appropriated sums. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the Army Chief said this at the Budget Defense before the House of Representatives Committee on Army.
Security of lives and property in Nigeria, especially in view of security challenges being experienced in parts of the country, require a proactive approach to be tackled effectively. This, the Army General believes, could be achieved through improved funding.
The Nigerian Army has expanded from 5 divisions to 8 divisions and is currently engaged in war against the insurgency in the northeast and other criminal elements in the northwest and indeed in the north central. In preparing the 2019 budget, the Nigerian Army is requesting for the sum of 472.8 billion naira only. However, the Ministry of Budget and National Planning proposed the total sum of 232.4 billion naira only.
Chairman of the House Committee on Army, Representative Rimandi Shaulu, expressed readiness of the committee to ensure that the army is adequately funded to secure the lives of citizens. In the meantime, the House of Representatives Committee on Public Procurement has, while interacting with the Bureau of Public Procurement on the agency's budget performance for 2018 in proposals for 2019, directed it to reconcile figures in the budget document after noticing some discrepancies.
Some projects were abandoned, some projects were not attended to, and so I want to know the basis. I want to know for adopting your method of expenditure.
The committee wants to, among other issues, know how the Bureau arrived at more than 419 million as capital expenditure for 2019. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still with budget defense, issues pertaining to digital switchover came up when the National Broadcasting Commission appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Information for Budget Defense. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on this and budget defense by FRCN and NPC.
The budget defense by the National Broadcasting Commission featured review of 2018 performance by the regulatory body and its projections for 2019. Committee members sought clarifications on operations concerning the digital switchover from the Director General of the NBC, Modibo Kawu.
Saying there's never an appropriation bill sent by the executive that maybe you can give us anyone that is included with the DSO.
The government set up a presidential task force which came out with that white paper, and the white paper has been implemented for the last since 2014 as an instrument of putting together this digital switchover. So it's the base upon which everything has been done around DSO has been done.
Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, Mansour Liman said the corporation, in spite of challenges, has sustained optimal performance.
We want to again continue to solicit for your support in the 2019 budget so that Radio Nigeria will be able to do the needful in trying to make sure that we uplift the nation and unite the country.
The Nigeria Press Council was also before the committee to defend its budget. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Similarly, Water Resources Committee of the House of Representatives has given the Ministry of Water Resources till Monday, the 8th of April, to submit all relevant documents that will substantiate its claims on the 2018 budget performance. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Comfort Ekaro, led all the management officials to the budget defense at the National Assembly complex.
The 2019 appropriations estimate for the Water Resources Ministry and ISPRA status is at 1.949 billion naira.
The ministry is still desirous of pursuing projects that could make significant impact on infrastructural development and a rollover of about 60% of the 2018 projects in the 2019 fiscal year.
With 2018 budget performance put at 43.73%, the committee members, in a page-by-page scrutiny of the budget performance, expressed dissatisfaction over delays in the procurement processes which slowed down completion of water projects ongoing across the country.
How can we explain this to the Nigerian people? That in a country where access to potable water is only 6%, a population of close to 200 million people, you have money, you refuse to use it.
For the ministry that this money came into, it came in two tranches. The second one was in December. And by February, all the processes have been completed.
December to now is the whole quarter.
It has been completed. That is why I said the contracts are on. And as they come with their certificates of completion, they will be paid.
The members also demanded explanation on the revenue generation, its utilization, award of contracts, staff nominal role that justifies the personnel cost, amongst other requests for authenticity of documents presented.
Please, we want you to go back, properly put your documents together. You've already seen the queries from us, including the additional spending.
In addition to other issues raised by the committee is the abandonment of various water projects within the rural communities across the country, and as such, the committee demanded update of all ongoing projects being executed by the ministry, as well as the review of the registered assets of the ministry. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Thank you, Kenneth. This is NTA Network News. We take a break now. More reports shortly.
There comes a time when the journey in life takes you far away from the familiar.
From Signal? Fix it. Auntie, I don't finish. Wow. Make we take picture for Instagram. Don't you mean Instagram? Instagram, Hingram. Now you know name. Now me get network where they work for this long road. Come the yellow side, make yourself for free enjoy overshot data.
Anywhere, anytime. Data makes life better. Now you can get 1 gigabyte at 200 naira. The binge all day on Instagram just for you. Dial *406# to enjoy.
What is it that transforms the economies of the world? More than a nation's natural resources, it is about the quality of its people. The UAE has largely transitioned from an oil-driven economy into one that is knowledge-based. And by developing their human capital, others who have little or no natural resources have become global leaders in technology and innovation. We can also do the same. Combining modern skills with entrepreneurship development will give rise to enterprises which can increase the demand and capacity for skilled labor. Our mission at the Industrial Training Fund is to provide the knowledge and skills that can meet this demand, in recognition that this combination is the global currency of the 21st century economies. And so for us, this is what it's all about.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Thanks for staying with NTA Network News. A federal high court in Abuja has annulled the election of Peter Nwabushi as the senator-elect for Delta North Senatorial District. Justice Ahmed Mohammed gave the order in the case instituted by Ned Nwako against the People's Democratic Party on his candidacy. Olabode Arewa reports.
Delivering his judgment, Justice Ahmed Mohammed, Elder Peter Nwabushi, did not win the People's Democratic Party primary for Delta North, held on the 2nd of October 2018. The plaintiff, Ned Nwako, approached the court seeking to be recognized as the rightful candidate, having polled majority of the lawful votes cast during the primary election. Ned Nwako argued that he scored 453 votes to defeat Peter Nwabushi, who scored 405 votes. To his surprise, the PDP jettisoned the results and forwarded Nwabushi's name as his candidate for the senatorial district. Peter Nwabushi said Nwako's case was deficient since it was not filed within the 14 days provided for by the law. The judge observed that the PDP erred by failing to produce ballot papers used for the election when ordered to do so. Justice Muhammad subsequently ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to publish the name of Ned Nwoko as the PDP candidate. The Independent National Electoral Commission, the PDP, and Senator Nwoboshi were respondents in the matter. In Abuja, Olabodarewa, NTA News.
Still on the judiciary, the All Progressives Congress has described as laughable the allegation against the Kwara State Governor-elect Alhaji Abdurrahman Abdulrazak that he forged the senior secondary school certificate he presented for elections. The party, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Larry Isa Onilo, assures Kwarans that those challenging the popular mandate given to Alhaji Abdurrahman Abdulrazak are mere shadow boxes. The outcome of the elections in Kwara, the APC added, is an expression of collective resolve of Kwara electorate for a new progressive order that has long eluded Kwara State. Similarly, a federal high court has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to announce the results of Ajero Mi Ifelodo Federal Constituency in Lagos, which has so far been collated before the election was declared inconclusive. Justice Bello Kawu gave the ruling in Abuja. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Rita Oji, in Ajoromi Ifelodun Federal Constituency of Lagos State, had petitioned the court against INEC and APC over the announcement of results in the February 23rd National Assembly elections. In the judgment, the court dismissed the notice of preliminary objection on jurisdiction and held that it has jurisdiction to entertain the suit. It then held that INEC was under the obligation to comply with the process of law as it concerns the conduct of the elections.
He has not declared anybody winner as requested by the plaintiff. What the plaintiff wanted from the court is for the court to declare her the winner of the election. But the court recognized that he has no power to do that. But all he requested from the INEC as a body is to go and perform their constitutional role.
We are not against a result being declared inconclusive, but we are against a situation whereby a collated result is refused to be announced. We are comfortable with the judgment of the court, and that judgment of the court will stand the test of time in any part of Nigeria before any court.
Following this judgment, parties will now await a date for the announcement by INEC. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
An FCT High Court has dismissed a no-case submission of Mariam Sanda in an alleged murder case. Mariam Sanda is standing trial on the alleged killing of her husband, Biliaminu Bello. The presiding judge, Justice Yusuf Halilu, ordered the defendant to enter her defense. Justice Yusuf Halilu held that from the available evidence of all the prosecution witnesses, pointing the attention of the court to the involvement of the defendant in the alleged murder, hence the need for her to open her defense. Justice Halilu, however, upheld that the no-case submission of the other three defendants and discharged and acquitted Mariam's mother, Maimuna Aliu, brother Aliu Sanda, and the housemate Sadia Aminu. Still on the judiciary, the Federal High Court in Abuja has struck out a suit filed by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and two other senators, seeking the enforcement of their fundamental rights by the Nigerian police. Justice Okon Agban struck out the suit on the grounds that the court did not have a valid application before it. Judiciary correspondent Femi Oku has the story.
The events of the 5th of October 2018, when the People's Democratic Party organized a protest march to the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the police headquarters, all in Abuja, formed the background to this case. Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki, along with Senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melai, and Senator representing Bayelsa East, Ben Moribrus, shortly after the protest, approached the court, praying the court for the enforcement of their fundamental rights to free movement and association. This followed, according to them, the disruption of their protest march by the police, and also an invitation for interrogation by the Nigerian police. Their application before the court also included a prayer seeking for compensation to the tune of 500 million naira. But Justice Okon Abang said none of the three applicants personally deposed to the affidavit before the court, breaching Order 2, Rule 4 of the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Rules, and rendering the affidavit, which was deposed to by one Effort Okoye, a documentary hearsay. Justice Okon Abang therefore struck out the suit, saying that the courts are not meant to restrain the police from carrying out their duties as long as the steps taken by the Nigerian police are in line with the law. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
And reports reaching us says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has intercepted 54 million naira cash at the Maiduguri airport. The anti-graft agency, in a statement, says 4 persons and 2 non-governmental organizations connected to the seized cash are currently being investigated. It noted that the agency's probing of alleged cases of criminal conspiracy, money laundering and terrorist financing earlier initiated led to the alertness and the seizure of the cash. Now to youth empowerment. More than 11,000 Nigerians have been trained in various industrial vocations under the National Industrial Skills Development Program of the federal government. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, in a message at the graduation ceremony in Abuja, expressed the present administration's determination of fast-tracking industrial growth and providing gainful employment for the female youths in the country. Joy Uzo reports.
22-year-old Sandra Moko, with a degree in international relations, has been unemployed since leaving the university in 2015. She got enlisted last year under the National Industrial Skills Development Program, NISDP, being implemented by the Industrial Training Fund. With the training she received in photography, she no longer goes around seeking for employment.
Thank you, and we plead that you do not stop this program. We plead that you continue this program because it has helped in reducing unemployment.
Sandra is one among the over 11,000 trainees at this graduation ceremony who have received 3 months training in different industrial vocations. The ceremony therefore marks a turning point for them as they were mobilized with starter packs based on the skills acquired.
Where training occurs without the accompanying empowerment tools, the results become less impactful.
Your degree certificates just gives you an added advantage and prepares you for the challenges of the future. But the skills that you acquire and have is what would entrench you in the marketplace of today.
Since the inception of the National Industrial Skills Development Program, over 150,000 Nigerians have been equipped with skills for entrepreneurship. In Abuja, I'm Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Now, government is stepping up efforts to resuscitate technical teacher training program to produce competent graduates that can be self-reliant, thereby curbing youth unemployment and restiveness. This came to the fore while inaugurating Technical Teacher Training Advisory Committee in Abuja. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports.
In the 70s, the federal government introduced technical teacher training program to address the acquisition of technical and vocational knowledge and skills based on the national policy on education for the overall socio-economic development of the country, but it gradually disappeared. Following the reintroduction of the Technology and Science Education Department in the ministry and the establishment of federal science and technical colleges across the country, as well as their need for more teachers in technical and vocational subjects, it becomes imperative for the resuscitation of the program to advance and reposition the sector.
Because no nation achieves sustainable economic growth and development without good quality technical science, vocational and mathematics teachers in its educational institutions.
The committee is reminded of the huge task ahead. In the same vein, the minister also inaugurated a national steering committee on innovation, development and effectiveness in the acquisition of skills project. It is a project designed to bridge the gap and recognize the need to build a sustainable system that will transform skill development and artisan training in Nigeria, thereby automatically strengthening the labor market. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
All is now set for the takeoff of Ogun State Polytechnic Ipokia ahead of its maiden matriculation in May this year. Ogun State Governor Ibn Kule Amosu stated this during an inspection tour of the newly constructed institution and other projects in Ogun West Senatorial District. Lekon Ambode reports.
The inspection tour of the facilities revealed that the stage is set for the matriculation of over 3,000 students for the OND programs after the commissioning by President Muhammadu Buhari in the month of May. The governor expressed satisfaction with the level of completion.
This school have come to stay. And the idea is this: immediately we move this school here, Mastex takes off immediately. Because we are moving them from Moshood Abiola Polytechnic. We are starting the master plan of Moshood Abiola University of Science and Technology before I leave.
This is a virgin land, and this is virgin for development. We're bringing a world-class polytechnic to a location like this. It's going to have a multiplier effect on the social and economic development of the community.
We're going to have people from different backgrounds, different ethnic groups, different religion. Please, we want all of us to embrace them.
Other projects under construction, including Ilaro Owode Road, were also inspected. Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Lagos is our first stop on Network News tonight, and Dotun Ogunyemi is standing by in Lagos. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Jumai, and welcome to Lagos. The Accident Investigation Bureau says 6 serious air incident reports will be released before the end of the month. Prominent among the report is the accident of a Cessna 208B caravan involving former governor of Taraba State, Dan Baba Fulani Suntai, which occurred in 2012. Michael Olaleye reports.
Gathered in this hall are aviation stakeholders with the common interest of enhancing safety in the industry.
They are exercising their rights to give suggestions to the amendment of the 2016 Civil Aviation Regulations.
Those new amendments are part and parcel of the evolution of what is called research and development, and indeed the development of the industry itself.
The Accident Investigation Bureau is of the view that there is tremendous reduction in the rate of air accidents in Nigeria, promising to release more final reports on the 25th of this month.
One of them is the accident involved the former governor of Taraba State was in, the late governor, the one who flew and crashed. You have the Bristol S-76.
The commissioner of AIB, Akin Olateru, said interagency collaboration is key in the timely release of air accident reports.
We have a very robust laboratory for downloads of what you people call the black boxes. Air Force doesn't have this. And when an aircraft crashes into a very bad terrain, for instance, Air Force can support our investigators in terms of logistics to that support. This is all the whole essence of the MOU. But we've been on this for 2 years.
Efforts to ratify the regulations are still on. In spite of this, however, reports presented by the forum shows that non-compliance to safety recommendation is the bane of air accidents. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
All is now set for the commencement of the 21st edition of Nestle Milo Basketball Championship. The tournament has begun with online registration and a press conference held in Lagos to herald the competition. Olumide Ekuntola has the rest of the story.
Nestle Nigeria PLC, the organizer of the Nestle Milo Basketball Championship, says producing future champions in the game of basketball and in other spheres of life remains its watchword as the 21st edition of the championship gets underway across the various regions of the country.
The biggest motivation is making a difference in the lives of Nigerian kids. Being able to teach them the importance of sports, being able to teach them values that are very important, such as respect, discipline, teamwork. And when you see that you can transform those lives through sports, when you're able to see some of the achievements they have done whether in basketball or somewhere else.
The state preliminaries will produce a champion each in the boys and girls categories. The state champions will in turn play in 4 regional conferences to vie for slots at the national finals.
We are looking to have up to 10,000 schools participating. This is an interesting new achievement for us. But beyond this, there are so many people like we have seen today who are succeeding beyond the game of basketball. You know, on top of this are the many children that we are helping them to unleash their potential and become their very best in life.
The championship starts with the Savannah Conference in Bauchi on the 3rd of May and ends with the Western Conference in Ibadan on the 24th of May 2019.
People always talk about football, but basketball is now gaining ground because of Nestle's contribution to grassroots development of basketball in Nigeria.
Milo has done a lot. For 21 years, they have revived basketball in Nigeria.
They have become the main source of grassroots basketball development in Nigeria.
The national finals will hold at the Indoor Sports Hall of the National Stadium, Lagos, from the 27th June to 4th July 2019. In Lagos, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports with Jumai after the commercial break. Please stay tuned.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
And for more on business, Comfort Amadu is standing by. Comfort, as the first quarter of 2019 rolls out, what's new in the business world?
Although public data for 2018 has been released.
Okay.
And as Nigeria continues to make success in its effort to ensure effective citizens' participation across the budgetary process, budget transparency practitioners and stakeholders say effort to enhance transparency in the extractive sector and improve efficiency and effectiveness of the tax system is to be prioritized. This was at the Fiscal Transparency and Accountability Thematic Workshop Group of the Open Government Partnership in its first quarter meeting of 2019, held in Abuja, where discussions centered on the current issues and priorities in advancing fiscal transparency in the country.
In some of the commitments, you see that close to 60–70% of what is stated on the action plan has already been accomplished. There are some areas that might not be accomplished, either time and or funding constraints, which we intend to roll into the second line.
Nigeria joined the Open Government Partnership in 2016. And now Nigeria is using cheaper and longer tenor debt to reduce her debt burden and increase the nation's reserve. Director General of the Debt Management Office, Pat Oniha, while releasing the public data for 2018, said annual debt grew by 12.25% to stand at 24.387 trillion naira at the end of 2018.
When the government borrows externally, it directly contributes to external reserves. So most of us have seen the Naira exchange rate stable for about 2 years now. Okay, so these external borrowings have contributed to stabilizing the Naira by increasing the level of reserves.
And in the capital market, investors lost 43.42 billion naira as Nigerian Stock Exchange all-share index dropped further by -0.39%. In today's trading session, equities market closed negative at 29,553.12 basis points, as against 1.85% reduction in previous trades on the floor of the exchange. Its year-to-date returns currently stands at -5.97%, while other stocks like Champs led 11 gainers against 18 losers, topped by CAP at the end of the day's session. And that's business news for now. Enjoy the rest of the news with Jumai.
Thank you, Comfort. Moving on, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, took the center stage at the ongoing Kaduna International Trade Fair, promising to live up to its game with a view to becoming the best global deposit insurer by 2020. Amina Saidu covered NDIC's special day at the fair.
The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, is a member of the Nigerian Financial Safety Net, with a broad policy of protecting bank depositors and promoting public confidence in the entire financial system. The corporation conducts risk-based supervision of the banks in collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria and ensures the timely resolution of distressed banks, including the orderly liquidation as a last resort. Managing Director, NDIC Alhaji Umaru Ibrahim, was represented at the 40th Kaduna International Trade Fair by Muhammad Kudu, Head of Communications and Public Affairs.
In the proactive management of responding to emerging challenges in the financial system, the NDIC continues to be at the forefront of driving key objectives of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy, NFIS, to reduce the percentage of adult Nigerians that do not currently have access to financial services from the present 46.3% in 2010 to 20% by the year 2020.
Organizers of the trade fair, Kaduna Chamber of Commerce, commended NDIC for enhancing financial literacy to equip Nigerians with the required knowledge to make informed financial decisions.
CIMA will continue to provide avenues like this to the key players in the economy to publicize their services and products to the populace.
NDIC is now a hub for the provision of capacity building for other sister agencies across Africa, playing host to delegates from Kenya, Uganda, and other countries. In Kaduna, Amina Saidu, NT News.
Nigeria is aiming to be among the countries with the largest GDP in the world through efficient use of science, technology and innovation. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, disclosed this during the inauguration of the Interministerial Committee on the Review of Science, Technology and Innovation Policy in Abuja. Justin Bem Onyi reports.
For Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, the federal government's effort to create sustainable wealth for the country, more job opportunities and fight poverty through technology and innovation is achievable.
So the policy we have today has to be revised because the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020 recognizes science, technology and innovation as being at the center of all economic activities in the country.
Meanwhile, the minister, while receiving a report on malaria eradication submitted by the committee, said Nigeria will set the pace in eradicating the scourge of malaria in Africa through the application of biotechnology and nuclear technology to eradicate the disease vector, mosquito, and the malaria parasite responsible for causing malaria.
We have a capacity in both biotechnology and nuclear technology that can help us to control and eradicate the parasites, also control and eradicate the vector.
Dr. Onu affirms that the federal government is ready to do everything in its sphere of influence to assist the fight against malaria. In Abuja, Justin Bem Onyi, NTA News.
Sokoto is our next stop with Saidia Umar Digi. Hello, Saidia.
National and State Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal in Sokoto has been inaugurated. The report.
The tribunal, chaired by Justice Yusuf Ubali Muhammad and two others, Justice I. Woody and Justice Muhammad Idi Polycarp, commenced sitting at the High Court premises in Sokoto. Justice Yusuf Ubali Muhammad pledged to do the job fairly and spoke of the need for members of the bar to be supportive and not do anything capable of delaying the tribunal work. So far, the tribunal had received 20 petitions in relation to State Assembly elections, 10 on House of Representatives and 3 on senatorial elections. Shortly after the inauguration ceremony, the tribunal rose and reconvened to consider 2 ex parte motions filed by the council to the petitions. The tribunal has 180 days within which to exhaust the petitions before it. The lifespan of the tribunal begins from the day the election result is declared.
Sokoto State Police Command has retrieved a Toyota Hilux from the hand of snatchers and arrested manufacturer of locally made revolver pistol with 18 improvised live ammunitions. Sheikh Muhammad Detti completes the report.
The Toyota Hilux with registration number FKJ 635XM is an official vehicle of head of technical section of one of the service providers in the state by name Tabia Mullah. The 3 snatchers trailed the technical officer up to his residence at Bapara Estate and dispossessed him of the vehicle. Briefing newsmen, the police public relations officer Sokoto Command, ASP Muhammad Abakar Siddiq, said the culprits abandoned the vehicle and took to their heels when they noticed that the police were after them.
Efforts have been intensified to track down the hoodlums for possible arrest and subsequent prosecution.
Similarly, Ibrahim Al-Hassan of Rumbuka village in Niger Republic was arrested with 2 locally made pistols with 18 improvised live ammunitions. Upon interrogation, the suspect confessed to have sold 2 at Belel village of Sabambani local government area at the rate of 2,000 naira. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, while answering questions from journalists, noted that he is the manufacturer of the weapons and had spent 10 years in the business. The police affirmed that they are after any criminal act and will bring to book anyone caught. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
That's it from Sokoto. It's now back to Jummai in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. Another break beckons. Do stay. You are watching NTA Network News. Obehe is in Benin, standing by with more stories.
Hello, welcome to Benin. Unknown gunmen suspected to be armed robbers today shot dead the bossa of the Akure Diocese of Anglican Communion, Mr. Gabriel Abiodun. The deceased was killed in his office shortly after returning from the bank, and the 500,000 naira belonging to the church was taken away by the assailants. Wasiu Rauf reports that the Ondo State Police Command has given an assurance to fish out the perpetrators.
When NTA News visited the scene of the incidents, sympathizers were seen in sad mood as they mourned the death of the late bossa of the Akure Anglican Diocese, who was murdered in his office about 9:30 in the morning.
They came with a Toyota Corolla car and they shot they told one of the security to keep quiet and disarm the man. And they went in and they took the money from him and they shot him.
The police public relations officer in Ondo State said investigations has begun and vowed that the perpetrators will be apprehended in no distant time.
The suspect trailed him from the bank back to his office. They forced him to surrender the money. In the ensuing melee, the man was shot. His 2 legs So before he could be rushed to the hospital, we lost him. Now we have embarked on a manhunt.
The police PRO urged members of the public to be security conscious and inform the police when conveying large amounts of money. In the meantime, the police in the state has paraded a notorious kidnapper, Wakili Ismaila, who is said to have participated in a number of kidnapping for ransom in Akoko and Kabahasis. In Akure, Wasiu Rauf, NTA News.
And away from security, rich tradition and cultural heritage of Benin Kingdom are showcased as the Benin monarch celebrates Ugie Ododwa in the palace. The ceremony, which is to commemorate the return of Oromia, the son of Ododwa, to Benin Kingdom, spans 14 days. Ivy Omori reports.
The Ugie Ododwa, which is synonymous with Ovia deity, usually features ritual dance performances by 7 masquerade dancers at the Ugayen Buddha Aziz of the Royal Palace. This celebration started during the reign of Obaire Sonye, and its functions belong to the Weibo Palace Society. Chiefs in charge of the ceremony are Osa of Benin and Oswan of Benin.
A period of remembering God and a period of warding evil from the society.
It is done in 2 phases, the internal one and the external one. This one you are seeing is the external. The internal is esoteric, highly secretive, placid. It's not what you see. But this one you are seeing is not to tell people we have been able to purify, sanctify. There's going to be abundant progress.
The costumes used are kept by the Osagwe of Benin Kingdom, while drum beat is performed by the Ogbelaka group. This ceremony can only be performed on the request of the Oba of Benin. The event was presided over by His Royal Majesty Oba Ewaye II. Members of the royal family, palace chiefs and others were in attendance. In Benin, Ivie Omoyi, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. It's over to you, Jumai, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much. The Nigerian Television Authority, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, and Africa Image Ventures have signed a memorandum of understanding to promote sports as a tool for uniting the nation. Tamara Ibue has details.
The Memorandum of Understanding, signed by the Nigerian Television Authority, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, and Africa Image in Abuja, signals the commencement of the tripartite arrangement for the launch of the first ever Nigeria Sports Book of Records in 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. This is coming after the over 300-page publication was officially unveiled October 2018 in Abuja.
TV Enterprises will represent NTA in this tripartite arrangement, to make sure that this book, gets to every nook and cranny of this country.
Here we intend to take this historical document to the doorstep of all Nigerians, and so also to project the image of Nigeria globally.
Whenever they want to partner with SWAN, we are ready to do that.
Nigeria Sports Book of Records, a compendium of the nation's sporting glory since 1884, will be updated annually as the nation's athletes continue to excel on the globe. In Abuja, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
Next, it's sports update with Ayodeji Makinde.
Nigeria moved 4 steps